Hello, I'm Justin, and this is one of the 60-day challenge days of talking about solar energy and the industry that we are working in at the moment. And the very exciting topic today is metering. So in any solar system that is installed, commercial, domestic, industrial, there's always meters involved. There's always meters on the client side. So those meters are their consumption meter. Some are done in half-hourly data. Some are done showing what the client is consuming or what the house is using. That's worked out in kilowatts, kilowatt hours, in fact. So you can look at your bill and see that as a unit, and that is what you're charged for as well. So what we'll look at in a later video is understanding your bill. I'll do a screenshot and we'll chat through that. But at the minute we're talking about metering, and there's two different types of meter that you'll find in a solar installation. One is a meter that's built inside the inverter, which is a part of the solar system, and one is normally an external meter. Now some companies install them per inverter so that you can see individually to a granular level what individually which inverter is generating, and some companies as well fit an overall generation meter, sometimes referred to as the gen meter, which sometimes gets a little photovoltaic sticker on it if people buy the packs. Then when you're looking at your installation, when it's all finished and the team have got out of the way, you'll be like, what's that extra meter that I've got on my wall that's slowly clocking up mileage? That is what your solar is generating, and how much you're feeding back is for another conversation. That's looking into what's coming in from the grid and what you guys are sending back up the grid, which both meters you need to take into account, looking at what you are generating and what you are consuming. It gets very complicated in three-phase world. There's two different types. One is a whole current meter that is fitted on the industrial commercial sites. The other is a CT meter, which is normally on the side of your main incomer where we're connecting in, then you can get full visibility on what the system is generating as a whole. Remote monitoring doesn't always speak directly to those meters when it's combining things. One of the products and services that we've been working on is enabling people to see what the whole site is generating and using and exporting across the whole utility, which gets very, very interesting. And to be able to do that remotely, see what the gas is doing at the same time, see what the water's doing at the same time, it gets very, very interesting on some of the sites that we're working on at the minute. But yeah, this is just talking about and helping you understand that in any solar system that is installed, there needs to be a generation meter. If the inverter dies and that's got all the information inside it, how much it generated since it was started, then you need a generation meter sat to the side of it that's saying that as well. If you come across a generation meter in an installation and it's completely blank, not responding, either it's completely died, but it still allows power to pass through it. So you may be missing out on information. You're definitely missing out on information, but you may be missing out on what's actually being generated on that site. If it's fully blank, no lights flashing, no nothing, you could have a blown fuse there, which means your inverter's probably off the blink as well. So sometimes where the inverter's not accessible, and you've just got a little generation meter sat on a wall somewhere in a store cupboard or in a storeroom, and it's stopped flashing away, then that's probably one of the reasons is you need some maintenance done there. And how often you should do maintenance, that's totally depends on your system size. But I just wanted to talk about for those few moments and help you understand a little bit about solar and how we monitor what that's generating. We'll look at a later video at how you can tap into those and get them monitoring. Sometimes you can have them on screens monitoring so you can see exactly what you're doing, as well as sometimes you can have that on your phone, on your tablet, being shown around a business, and also when I'm working remotely for companies in other countries, we can actually see what they're generating across their portfolio as well, which things start to get very exciting. Then when you're actually seeing, over this whole 20-30 site portfolio of properties, you're generating X or Y, you're saving X or Y in your kilowatts, as well as you're saving in your carbon. It gets very interesting, and it is a really exciting part of now we've done all the hard stuff. We've fitted all the panels, we've fitted all the inverters, we've dealt with all the health and safety, we've done all the structural stuff, we've kept ourselves safe on this site, and we've exited, and we've left the site. What have you got to show for it as a installation engineer, as a company director, as a property portfolio owner? What is actually showing on your screen in your office, showing what those sites are doing after you've invested a couple of million quid in solar in some instances, and what is actually going off on those sites. You can preemptively manage your maintenance as well. There's lots of M's in there. Manage your maintenance through metering. You can see when inverters are on the way out if you've got them monitored. But a dumb meter, just a straightforward gen meter, is absolutely fine in a domestic setting. And as you see that clocking up, if you know that if you're paying, say, 20 pence per kilowatt, every kilowatt that generation meter, so what's coming off the solar panels, you know that that's saving you that 20 pence that you would normally be paying for. If you're paying 35 pence, God bless you, then instead of you paying 35 pence, you're generating it from the roof. So that would explain where your savings are coming from, and how sometimes when you look at a generation meter and you're like, wow, it's done hundreds of thousands of units, it's been in for 4 or 5 years, it's quite hard to stand in front of somebody and go, oh yeah, that saved you £20,000 over its lifetime, because the rate has changed. As that energy's been going through that meter, it may have been saving them 9 pence at the beginning of the installation, but now it's saving them 55 pence because that's what they're getting charged. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing with metering. It sometimes gets wired up the wrong way around, which is quite interesting in commercial and domestic occasions, where we've come across sites where, I didn't know that was supposed to be working, I didn't know that was supposed to be flashing or showing me numbers. But there's a lot of the time when it gets wired the wrong way around and people can't actually see what they're generating. They start to see a load. So you can, if things are monitored right and things are installed right, you can always make sense of what is going through that meter. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I don't want to take too much of your time. I hope this has been beneficial for you in shedding some light on the metering side of a solar installation. Thank you.